Imagine if you could change your gears whenever you needed to, knowing when was the right time, getting yourself optimized to a level that you never thought was possible, overcoming obstacles along the way, ascending and descending, and being in control of your speed and no one else's, staying in your own lane. I came up with changing gears when I decided to challenge myself on a 180-mile bike ride over 2 days. I didn't have a clue what I was putting myself in for. But what I did know is I always wanted to do something that involved challenging myself, but then also give back. One thing I did have was a bike before I entered, so I was kind of prepared for this. But if you asked me then if I knew how to ride a bike, I'd say, of course, why would anyone ask that? But if you ask me now, I said, absolutely not. Instantly, I had to get into training mode and stay on top of my game. Staying on top of your game has always been something that's intrigued me. But what does it actually mean? Does it mean winning? Does it mean moving forward as fast as you can? And how do you stay on top of your game without knowing how to start the game? And how do you stay on top of your game without knowing what your game is? The build-up to the bike ride was training until a week before. I injured my back and I was on the floor for the whole week. My initial thought was, why me? But never did I think this was not happening. So the day before the ride, I felt ready, but not 100%. Are we ever ready or 100%? Because the first step is to take action and simply learn how to change your gears. The day of the ride, I was full of fear, but never the doubt. Halfway into day one, I felt my body pounding. Only when the hill started appearing, I came to realize that every time there was an upward hill, there'd be a downward descent, followed by a straight. And then there might be a downward descent, followed by an upward incline. That's when it all started going wrong for me. I couldn't change my gears correctly. My timing was all wrong. And that's when I realized I actually really didn't know how to ride a bike. Arriving at base camp in pain, struggling, is when the fear kicked in again. Mentally, I wasn't ready for day two. But something inside me kept saying, you have no choice. On day two, the fear was looming, but never the doubt. It was then I started internally reprogramming myself to allow me to continue through the day, struggling up the hills, getting off the bike and walking up the hills every time I didn't get into the right gear at the right time. And that's when I realized the bike ride was my game, which enabled the discovery of knowing how to change your gears, but most importantly, how to implement the 5 states of optimization to have that winning mindset, using fear as your strength, and realizing that staying in your own lane is not a narrow lane, but a road that you own and you control. And changing your gears, going up and down as many times as you need to, is okay. So we have a self-awareness trigger that takes over. This is the fight or flight mode that you are all in control of. Knowing where you need to go and knowing how you will feel is important. But so is knowing that it is about the distance, but it's also about the journey. What I have just explained, I imagine you have all gone through at some stage in your life. And what controls this programming is our very own supercomputer. Now, you don't have to go and purchase this because you're born with it. Yes, I'm talking about the brain and the different fields of neuroscience, but most importantly, the prefrontal cortex, the area of the brain that sits in front of your head, behind your head, in your frontal lobes. See, this area of the brain houses all of our executive functions, like the ability to determine good from bad, processing future consequences of current activities, working towards defined goals, suppressing socially undesirable urges and predicting outcomes. This is the boss of which you're all made up of. And as mentioned, this area is responsible for our executive functions, but works on the ability to plan, decision make, expressing our personality, aligning our thoughts and actions with internal goals, and moderating social behavior. However, it gets hugely energy hungry and gets drained quickly. And if it's not working optimally, you'll start to experience feeling lazy, uninspired, get easily distracted, unable to complete things, fixing your attention on repetitive negative thoughts, and feeling overly emotional. Now, I knew this was all happening because of the 5 states of optimization. I was able to control this by finding those small wins that I needed to give me the boost at the right time for me. I was able to take myself out of the normal environment into a new environment, to stimulate my senses and find a new way of being. See, the 5 states of optimization will prepare you in finding your peak state. And if you haven't get this yet, I'm all about making sure that you are optimized to a level that you will never think possible. Tony Robbins mentions, getting to your peak state will require you to let go of past experiences and adopt a change that leads to a mindset of excellence. Living in your peak state will stop you from compromising and operate you at a level that you begin to inspire others to do the same. It all starts with a foundation, which is your emotions. And building upon this, you will have total control of your life, mood, decisions, and actions you take. So if you want to start rising and making progress, you need to get into your own peak state. Who would have known this would have all come from a bike ride? So let me tell you this. Riding on your own for 90 miles each day, you've got a lot of time on your hands. Yeah? And every second to every minute to every mile is used on that one person that matters. Now, the 5 states of optimization can be used in any order, or one particular state might be what you need at a particular point in your life. But as you work through these, you develop on your own emotional intelligence. And I want to take you through just that. The planning state, which is linked to self-management, managing your own emotions and resulting actions. Think about what you want to achieve in the next 90 days. Ask yourself how this will look. How will you feel once you've completed what you've just envisioned? The productivity state, which is linked to self-awareness, having the ability to be aware of your feelings as they develop. For this to take effect, look at all the habits that you have that need to be replaced or adjusted. Be aware of the right discipline needed in order for you to take the right action. The people state, which is linked to social awareness, having the ability to recognize and respond to the needs of others. What are your leadership or management skills like? Do they need changing? Motivation. What's the drive and determination you need in order for you to provide this for you and others? The prospect state, which is linked to relationship management, considering your emotions and of others as you develop and master relationships. Look at your network and the people around you. What does it look like? Are they the right people for you? Are you positioning yourself in the right places? And then we have the performance state, which is linked to personal and professional development. By having that winning mindset, focusing on growth, potential, and results. Using fear as your strength and realizing that staying in your own lane is not a narrow lane, but a road that you own and you control. Although the bike ride wasn't a race, the 5 states of optimization then and still to this day continue to provide that winning mindset in all aspects of your life. Your gears will change. They will go up and they will go down. You'll be learning. You'll be optimized to a level that you never thought was possible. And you'll be in total control of your speed and no one else's. And you will discover what staying on top of your game actually means to you. And changing your gears, going up and down as many times as you need to, is okay. Thank you.